I, Karen Achieng Agengo, being called on to exercise the functions of the Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business, proceedings, or document of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as the Principal Secretary. So help me God.
I, Aden Abdi Mila, being called on to exercise the functions of Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or the contents of any business, proceedings, or documents of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Principal Secretary. So help me God.
I, Ahmed Abdisalan Ibrahim, being called upon to exercise the functions of Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business, proceedings, or document of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the discharge of my duties as such Principal Secretary. So help me God.
I, Boniface Barasa Makoha, being called on to exercise the functions of Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business, proceedings, or document of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Principal Secretary. So help me God.
I, Caroline Wanjiru Karugu, being called on to exercise the functions of Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business, proceedings, or documents of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as Principal Secretary. So help me God.
We have always known what we wanted to do in agriculture, but we haven't mastered the courage to take head on the cartels. I'm very happy that today we have registered almost 6 million farmers to deal with the fraud that was in the fertilizer distribution program. Today, fertilizer is distributed on a forger system, on a digital platform that identifies every farmer to their farms. And as a result, we have greater productivity of maize, of wheat, of sugar, of tea, of coffee. And I am very proud that today we are reporting more earnings for tea, better prices for coffee. In the next couple of weeks, we will have completed the reform of the sugar sector that will make it possible for our sugar sector to pay farmers on time, pay workers on time, and for the very first time, pay bonus to sugarcane farmers. That transformation in our agricultural sector is not only urgent, it's not only necessary, but we need to accelerate. And that is why the new team that is coming on board will help us turbocharge this process.
I, Cyril Odede Wagunda, being called upon to exercise the function of Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business, proceedings, or documents of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required by the due discharge of my duties as such Principal Secretary. So help me God.
I, Fikirini Jacobs Katoe Kahinde, being called on to exercise the functions of Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business, proceedings, or documents of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Principal Secretary. So help me God.
I, Oluga Frederick Ouma, being called on to exercise the functions of Principal Secretary, do swear that, except with the authority of the President, I will not directly or indirectly reveal the nature or contents of any business, proceedings, or document of the Cabinet committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as such Principal Secretary. So help me God.
I, Geoffrey Kiringa Ruku, being appointed a Cabinet Secretary of Kenya, do swear that I will at all time be faithful to the Republic of Kenya, that I will obey, respect, and uphold this Constitution of Kenya and all the laws of the Republic, that I will well and truly serve the people of the Republic of Kenya in the office of the Cabinet Secretary, that I undertake to hold my office as Cabinet Secretary with honor and dignity, that I will be a true and faithful counselor to the President for the good management of the public affairs of the Republic of Kenya, that I will not diverge directly or indirectly such matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy, except as may be required for the due discharge of my duties as Cabinet Secretary. And I will perform my functions of my office conscientiously and to the best of my ability. So help me God.
I commend each of you for stepping forward to serve the nation at the highest levels of government, and I congratulate all of you on your successful navigating rigorous vetting process and securing parliamentary approval. I must emphasize, if you are not already aware, that the real test begins today. You can only afford a brief pause before plunging into the deep end of public affairs, where scrutiny is rigorous, relentless, and unforgiving. I trust you possess the knowledge, experience, and resilience, not only to endure the demands of your new roles, but to serve the people of Kenya with diligence, loyalty, integrity, and compassion. I am confident that you understand this context better than most, not only because you experienced it during vetting, but also because you made the significant life and career decision to join government at a time when public expectations are exceptionally high. Every day, we face numerous diverse and forceful allegations, accusations, and demands. We must take them seriously, always remembering that as the executive, we are the trustees of the people and ultimately accountable for the use of public authority and public resources. The people are highly conscious that only by efficiently providing services to every citizen in every part of Kenya and managing each sector to enable workers and entrepreneurs to seize opportunities will we recover lost ground and achieve the prosperity we all aspire to. Expectations have never been higher, and failure is not an option. Our only valid response to criticism and demands is to perform our duties in a manner that increases public confidence in government. You are joining the executive at a defining midpoint, a moment that calls for greater effort and deeper commitment to achieving a national transformation that leaves nobody behind. You have been called to serve, not for personal gain, but to contribute to a team working to consolidate our progress and accelerate the implementation of our bold transformation agenda. This mission demands focus, diligence, professionalism, accountability, and tireless dedication. This morning, I have just referred back to Parliament the Conflict of Interest Law, or bill, because in my opinion, it doesn't meet the threshold of the expectations of the people of Kenya. As public servants, we cannot afford to carry the baggage of self-interest into public service. And we must take accountability with the seriousness it deserves. I expect both houses of parliament to exercise leadership in making sure that we get a piece of law that will help us manage and eliminate eventually matters corruption that in many cases come as a result of conflict of interest for public officials who serve not the public, but their interest. Because of the provisions and the imperative of the Constitution to make sure that to the extent possible, we must be inclusive. It is the only way that we can harness the talent, the energy, the ideas, and the contribution of as many of us as possible in making Kenya the country we want it to be. And that is why I have engaged in ensuring that we have a broad-based government that carries as many of us as possible. And let me say this for the record, that this broad-based administration, in my opinion, is what we need to make sure that we can take head on the things that we have always wanted to do as a nation, that no one side can do it on their own. We have always known that we need to reform our education. And we need to make sure that we have an education system that is fit for purpose. But we haven't been able to tell ourselves the truth about the cost of our education. And we have always pretended that we can do everything for everybody, even those who can afford to do things for themselves. I'm very happy that we have made now decisions to make sure that our education is properly aligned. We have corrected the differences that we had in our CBC curriculum. We have mastered the resources to hire more teachers. And we have rolled out a funding model that supports our education institutions and ensures that children from poor backgrounds are supported adequately. I expect, going into the future, with our new team, that we will refine and make sure that no child in Kenya is left behind.